Hello everybody, it's your boy MN Trail, back with another vlog, and today I want to give you a rundown of this guy. This is my Sony FS100 and all of the reasons why I love this camera. Sony FS100 is not a new camera. I've had my camera for about 3 years now. I have nothing but excellent things to say about this camera. With most DSLRs, you have to go inside of the menu to get to all of the settings to where you can make the adjustments that you need so that you can set it up for video. One thing that I really like about this camera is the majority of my buttons are on the outside of the camera, so I don't have to fumble around inside the menus as much. The main features that you will want to adjust depending on what you're shooting, controlling white balance is a particular button for that. Shutter speed, so I got a button for my iris, whether I want to put it in manual focus or autofocus. I have dedicated buttons for each different feature. Another feature that makes me absolutely love this camera is I have the ability to set picture profiles. And this is probably one of my favorite features on the camera, is this button right here, which is the S&Q, which basically stands for slow and quick. It's assumed that you know that to get the most cinematic look, you want to shoot at 24 frames per second. 24 frames per second is basically a cinematic look. 30 frames or 60 frames is a more natural look. What this camera and the S&Q feature does is allow me to change my frame rates while still shooting in 24 frames per second. So the overall video will come out at 24 frames, but by using this feature, I can now go in and shoot time lapses as fast as 1 frame per second, or I can shoot slow-mo video at 60 frames per second. Now, to show you exactly what I'm talking about and how this feature works, I went outside and I actually did a slow motion test, which is something that I have not done yet. As long as I've had this camera, I know I'm behind the game. But it's cool because I'm gonna show you what that looks like right now. Another feature that I love about this camera is that it has 2 XLR microphone inputs. So I have the ability to add condenser mics or shotgun mics and capture the sound directly in camera. Another feature is the viewfinder has the ability to turn around 180 degrees. In the event that I'm shooting alone, I can still see myself without having to be behind the camera, because the viewfinder will actually rotate 180 degrees. The only downfall that I see with this camera is it does not film in 4K definition. Now, if you need to shoot in 4K, FS700, which is 4K compatible, it's not a 4K camera, but you can make it 4K ready by adding a couple features onto it, or by using, shotgun Adamus, or Shogun Adamus, excuse me. I have not tried it, but I think this might be a project that I'll work on to actually see if I could use the Adamus and record 4K definition with my FS100. This might be a project for another vlog. Pricing now. I have seen these brand new. I think these cameras are still running somewhere between $1,900 and $2,500, even though it's a little bit older. I have seen some priced on eBay, used cameras as low as $1,000. You don't necessarily want to be on a DSLR. You want to use a more professional type of video camera. This might be a great option for you. It's worked out fantastically for me over the last couple of years. I'll say 70% of the content that is actually shot on my channel was using this camera. If your goal one day is to graduate to using like a Red or a Blackmagic Ursa Mini, this is a great starting camera for you. If you like what I said, you've actually used an FS100 or an FS700, and you got some tips for me that might be helpful that I actually don't know about, do me a favor and drop it down in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so every time I post something, you'll know about it firsthand, first off. As always, the grind speaks to your work ethic. If you continue to grind hard, you will meet expectation every single time. Trail signing off.
Then you have magic.